Hey everybody, welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday livecast brought to you by Frontline Gaming. Today, we have a pretty special show here, don't we, Dickie?
Yeah, baby.
Because we got a floating head takeover. I am the floating head of the FLGN, Val and I'm joined today by my usually silent partner in crime.
Serval Dickie.
Well, see, I'm Serval because Val is my name. You're just like you'd just be like a regular Serval whatever.
I'm a Techpriest.
Maybe it's just an emphasis on a different
loyal
syllable.
Techpriest. Loyal
Techpriest.
Techpriest.
There you go.
Yep.
That's pretty good. All right. Kicker and Seth cannot be with us today because they're probably doing things to do with the Las Vegas Open. But as you can see by the picture behind us, we're already there, baby.
I feel there. It's hot.
Yes. So what have you been working on? I believe normally the goons who host this show would banter about the hobby and such.
I've been working on LVO stuff. So
LVO stuff as well.
Very
popular
hobby.
This time of year.
Yeah. No hobby at all.
Hashtag LVO ready. I have been buying a lot of Warhammer Fantasy Armies when I'm panicked, but that's about it.
Those are panic purchases. Those are your quick,
just
quick, 7th edition
purchases. 8th edition. Yeah, quick 8th edition.
Yeah.
Fantasy Army.
Before the end.
Yeah.
What do you think that is?
I'm not buying a bunch of like vaporized dudes. Like, I'm not buying like a post end times fantasy army. I mean, that's kind of useless, really. What is it? Just a bunch of dust?
Why do you think the fantasy armies before the end like give you some kind of weird comfort?
It's nice. I describe it as wandering around an abandoned amusement park. It's fantastic.
Oh.
There's no meta to chase. There's no new stuff to be worried about. It's lovely, I have to say. But why don't we get on over to that industry news?
You got it.
Boom. Oh, wow. That
Bam.
Almost hit me in the head. Where's the frame?
It's coming.
There it is.
I didn't want to hurt you.
All right.
So everyone would have seen this new Tau or the books being released on the weekend or pre-orders for the book, as well as some Marine guys. I don't. Do we have fanfare for Marine guys? I don't know. Yeah. So we got a new Gravis captain as well as an ancient, Primaris ancient. So that's the dude with the banner there. So yeah.
Love a good grab-ass captain. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
No, the Tau Codex totally hasn't accidentally fell into the internet. How you feeling about Tau? I know you're a big Tau fan. I myself sold out of Tau.
Yeah.
About a year ago. You seem to be buying in, pal.
Yeah. Well, I'm dusting them off.
1 to Tau is terrific. What would you rate the book so far?
An 11.
Whoa.
An 11. Yeah.
Spicy.
I'm excited. I'm excited for a new aggressive Tau playstyle with a lot of movement shenanigans and shooting your opponent off the board. Yeah. That's new. That's new for Tau. Yeah.
It'd be great if they had 2 phases. If they added movement, that'd be lovely. I'd be great. I'd be real happy to hear that, actually.
Yeah, movement and shooting. It's This is next level.
All right, what else we got in the industry?
We got Nachmund, Warzone Nachmund. That's I think the pre-order was last week, and it will be released this week. So that's super exciting. That's a brand new way to play 40K. Brand new missions, brand new mostly brand new secondaries, let's be honest. But it's super exciting for those tournament goers. This is the way you're going to be playing for the next, 6 months or so?
Hot minute.
Yeah.
Playing for a hot minute. This will probably be the mission pack at the Atlantic City Open. Probably about 6 months from now. So, hey.
Yeah, exciting stuff.
Get good.
And we would have to say that we have the preview, of course. Now it is. So we have New York time. So I would believe that's Eastern Standard Time at 1 a.m.
10 p.m. Yeah, 10 p.m. PST. So it's going to be pretty late on the East Coast and real early on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah, so the UK, we're looking at 6 a.m. So wake up, get a coffee, and enjoy those hot releases. I've overheard Kicker talking about them, and oh boy, the people should be excited for sure. So I
know he's excited. I don't think Kicker, as usual, really knows anything, but he's just an excited guy.
Super excited. Yeah,
he just knows the Games Workshop's coming, and it's like he's going to meet Santa.
Yeah, and they have plastic models.
Except, plastic models. The preview's going to be awesome. It looks like they're gonna be. I don't know if it's a simulcast. I'm really excited to see how they're doing this. I don't actually know, but like they have the like command base little sneak to the preview that they released earlier this week. Looks like they got like a cool little streaming HQ center there.
Yeah.
Maybe there'll be some guys back home doing the previews to the. I don't know what the hell's going to happen. I can't wait to see it. It's going to be fun. If you're at the LVO, make sure you go and you sign up for a ticket.
Yeah,
You can actually do that on the Las Vegas Open.net website. Tickets are free, but it is best if you go click off for one.
Seats are limited, though, I've been told. So yeah, get in there and get your ticket if you want to watch for sure.
I'm just going to say go for it, guys.
Great.
It's going to be fun. Oh, what's this?
This is the Las Vegas stream. So it will start Friday at 10 a.m. PST on twitch.tv /Frontline Gaming _ or underline TV. Whatever. We have Peter the Falcon and Words Per Minute Adam Camilleri as the host. It's going to be awesome.
I think it's going to be a whole lot of wicked. We got tableside, Big Dickie over here. He's going to be giving some information. We've got Dustin Henshaw will be on later on in the show. He's going to be other table boss. You got me going losing his mind.
Yeah,
trying to keep everything running. It's going to be fun. We got Magic Crap Use Fly as our sideline correspondent. It's going to be a lot of fun and a lot of action and a lot of 40K. We're going to be streaming altogether 9 rounds, I guess.
Yeah.
No,
I thought you were
10 rounds.
I thought you were going to say it's a lot of work. Is what I thought you were going to say.
Nah, this ain't work, baby. It's too much fun. It's too much fun. There's going to be lots of cool things happening throughout the stream. We're hoping to have some prizes, neat contests, things to hashtag and participate in. Of course, the chat, and maybe even a little opportunity to help us out. Because Lord knows Las Vegas is far from Canada, and that's where we're coming from.
Well, I look forward to it. This is the gem. This is the final event of the 2021 season. So I think this is kind of what I've been prepping for all year. I don't know about you, but yeah, I'm super excited.
Yep, doing push-ups every day over it. It's great. Can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. Come check us out.
I think we should just. I'm so excited to talk to the two guests. I think we should jump into ITC rankings. Do you think that's cool?
Oh yeah, why not? Let's just do these ITC rankings. This is fun to do. So let's start out with the 40K competitive track. What?
Yeah, we have a huge change.
Manny Chima. Who invited him to the top of the rankings? He's number 1 after a performance, I believe, in Nottingham. Something like that over there. Second place, we got John Lennon. Third place, we got Brad Chester.
Yep.
The Boy King.
The Boy King, the old man. Yeah.
The Brad Chester. Apparently, these guys all have nicknames. Sean Naden. Who's that?
Nobody.
He doesn't have a nickname. Sean Naden doesn't need a nickname. Malik Amin Rubio, number 5. So we got 2 folks from the UK.
Yeah.
And then 2 folks from Art of War. And then just like the Warhammer Jedi, Sean Naden.
Yeah.
Just traipsing along.
And to be honest, everyone in the top 25, if they can pull out a win in LVO, they could win the ITC. There's so many points at this event, so it's a big deal. So there's a lot of people on that list that could hit pay dirt for sure.
Yes. Would you say that Sean Naden might be like Raiden from Mortal Kombat, the guy with the big hat?
No, he's got big hair. I don't know if he's got a big hat.
I don't know. I could sort of see him like that.
Maybe I think we're gonna work on a nickname.
We'll workshop a nickname. No problem. Yeah. Okay. Cool.
No, we're moving. We're going right to AOS rankings.
Okay. Gavin Grigar.
Yeah.
Caleb Walters. Cody Saltz. Anthony Trentinelli.
Beautiful.
And Yuri Sichinava.
Ooh.
Is rounding out that top 5 on the AOS competitive track. What do you think about them apples?
I think it took Seth months of work to get those names, and you nailed it first take.
Well,
I'm
That's why
impressed.
I'm the floating head, buddy.
That's why you're
You
the
don't
floating head.
you don't get to be a dismembered symbol of authority without knowing how to pronounce some names on occasion.
It's true. Yeah, I'm impressed.
You know,
I'm impressed. That's awesome. So I think we should. I'm so excited to learn about how to beat Custodes and Genes to the Cult. I think we should move into the next segment.
we should probably shift gears into the next segment. Hit it. All right, here we are. Welcome to Signals from the Frontline, your every Wednesday or so show here on the Frontline Gaming Network. I am the floating head of the FLGN, Val Heffelfinger, and I am joined by a creepy Ewok thing.
I am the creator of you. I am the humble Dickie, and we're here to talk about Custodes.
Humble Dick is indeed with us. Custodes is one thing we'll talk about. We'll probably also touch a little bit on the new Gene Stealer cults. And we're doing that because, of course, starting on Friday, live on Twitch, will be coverage of the Las Vegas Open. So there's going to be a lot of people both playing with and coming up against armies that have been out for about 5 minutes.
Oof.
So we're joined here with by Steve, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
Hello. Now, what gives you the right to tell us about Custodes?
Well, at the moment, I am the rank 1 Custodes player in the world. I'm gonna, of course, be trying to keep that award for LVO, and the list I think I made, I think is probably very close to the best possible list. It's a lot different than the Art of War list.
Mm.
Theirs has a lot of dreads and the Cletus tanks with 5-up invuls. I don't rate 5-up invuls. I just can't. It's
Clearly,
just
you're
too
not an
squishy.
orc player. That's fine. I
No.
understand.
Hey,
So you're a big deal. You played with the Custodes. You're leading the faction. That's fantastic.
yeah.
Welcome to the show.
you.
I suppose what would be most useful, because not everyone's playing Custodes, but a lot of people might play against Custodes. What would you say are some of the most important things to know about this new faction? Oh, well, it's not.
Right.
Well, it's a new faction, and it's also got new
Yeah.
rules.
And
Very
officially, I've heard they're not that good, so no one should
no,
really
according
have
to
to
the
worry about
internet,
them. Yeah.
they're terrible. Like,
Okay.
we can't, 3 damage axes. Like, F tier. All right. So the most important things really is not much has changed. We still have army wide 4-up invul and a 6-up against mortals. It used to be psychic phase, it's now any phase, so it's a slight buff. One thing, it's list building mostly, but you cannot have more sisters troops than Custodes troops. It's a lot different than other armies' 1-to-1 restriction, like Poxwalkers, for instance, is just 1-to-1 with any bubonic Custodes. Ours is specific troops. You'll never see more than realistically one sisters troop in the list. But one big important thing is all Custodes, including vehicles and anything, just keyword Custodes, count as 2 models on an objective.
All right.
That's gonna. So there's not gonna be any more 5-man like witch squads ninjing an objective unless they can just kill someone.
That'll really help all 6 guys you have on the board there.
It's like 12 models. 12 models.
Does that
that's all
have
you
an
need.
effect? Does that have effect on the retrieve Nachman data thing? Because you got to have more people to do that now. Does that help with that?
It's realistically it's the same. We'll never pick it because retrieve Nachman data. You need like realistically 5 models in a unit to do it.
That's what I mean. So that doesn't help you.
It
with
doesn't
that.
affect it. It's
all right.
It's just for holding objectives.
Just objective accounting. Got it.
That'd be awesome though. But one big thing is bikes are not OPSEC anymore. Do not let people cheat you. They cannot steal objectives. Obviously, if you have a character turning on OPSEC objective, then they're good. You have like my squad of 5 bikes would be like 12 OPSEC at that point. And finally, baseline rule is custodian models count as 2 for Lookout Sir. So if you have 2 guys in a unit, you'll block characters.
All right.
All right.
That's really the biggest changes besides adding things like stances and sub-factions, which are very, very huge. We went from auto losing to T-Suns to hard counting them so hard it's like not even a game anymore. It's like kind of sad actually.
Why?
Because the faction everyone's realistically going to take, it's the best one. It's called Emperor's Chosen. You get a 4-up against mortals in any phase, and you get a reroll hit or wound whenever you want. So T-Sun's just throwing a million mortal wounds. You're just gonna ignore half of them. Talos is injecting you with their D3 mortals in the fight phase. You ignore them. It's ginormous. It's huge. It's really bad for other armies. It's great for Custodes. Onto Emperor's Chosen. Why it's realistically the best sub-faction is it has a stratagem where you activate in the command phase, your command phase. You can put your Custodes unit into any other sub-faction. And a lot of sub-factions are great. Like, for instance, a big one people will be doing is putting one of your units in Shadowkeepers. Shadowkeepers gives, if you're in melee range, it gives everyone -1 attack, and then it lets you reroll wounds against characters. Reroll wounds against characters. So it's a really good for racks, for instance. Racks are down to 1 attack. You have many ways of turning off rerolls with things like Emperor's Auspice or one of the stances. One of the stances you can't reroll in melee. And then so they have no rerolls. They have one attack. Yeah, it's just a lot of things you can pile on. So onto the stances. Like a lot of these are very important. Very good. There's there's 6 stances, and each stance is a sub stance. There's only 4 that are good. There's only 4 that's ever going to be used, so I'm not even going to talk about the other 2. It's like,
so that's good. That's good that you bring that up because I remember when the karate was announced on the community, and I was thinking to myself, this is going to be a little bit hard to track as as an opponent, right? But there's only 4 we got to care about. That's good to know.
Yeah, only 4 at the moment. I don't know. 4 will change. Might make the other ones good.
Gotcha.
So the best one. Let me pull it up real quick, so I'm not telling you the wrong information.
That'd be ideal.
All right, so one of the best ones is let me pull it up right now. Is Dakatari. It has the first part is enemies cannot pile in or consolidate more. They get subtracted 2, so they can only pile in 1 inch normally. So with all these buffs like -1 attack, 2-inch pile in subtracted, it was like keep people locked in combat forever. So normally you have to go down your list of stances every turn, so you can't be in that stance for more than 1 turn. But there's a stratagem that, like the Emperor's Chosen stratagem, lets you put anyone in a sub-faction in the command phase, lets you put any unit in the stance you want. So you could hypothetically keep 1 unit in the -2 pile-in stance for all 5 battle rounds if you wanted to. Some other good ones though that give massive breakpoints is the Rendax stance, which gives the part 1 is you have auto wounding on 6s with shooting and melee against all vehicles and monsters, and then the stance 2 is +1 strength when you charge against vehicles and monsters. So that makes bikes, for instance, strength 7 to strength 8, and then +1 wound on the charge. So they're wounding pretty much everything in the game on 2s, at worst 3s.
Yeah, it was
rerolls. And the last stance, really, I mean, the last stance you realistically see is the Capitaire stance, which is stance 1 is no one can reroll in melee for hits, and stance 2 is it's like the witch ability where if you fall back you have to roll off, and there's no pluses or minuses. It's just the opponent has to beat you, and if they fail, they can't fall back.
Okay.
Those are really the best stances. There's the one other one which is minor. I sometimes pick it. It's like okay. It's Callistus. It lets you do a 2d6 advance and discard the lowest, and then it lets you move and advance and counter stationary in shooting phase. So you can advance some bikes and shoot because they have heavy weapons.
Ooh.
But yeah, those are really the best stance. It's mostly Rendax and Dakatari though, with the no minus Pollen and +1 strength. Those are the hot shit. But the best part about Rendax, usually you only get one of the stances. You have to pick one and then you go to the next one next turn.
Yeah.
For your sub-faction, each sub-faction has a chosen stance. And when you're in that chosen stance, for my faction, Emperor's Chosen, it's Rendax, for instance, you get both of the sub-factions once per battle round. So once per battle round, I will get +1 strength and auto-winning on 6s against vehicles and monsters on my whole army. And that is really good into a lot of the meta lists, like Thick City and Tyranids and everything else, really.
Now, I don't want to offend you, but every time you say Emperor's Chosen, I keep thinking you're saying Emperor's Children, and getting a little confused there.
Yeah.
Is there something that we should know about the new Custodes that maybe they're hiding?
I don't know, man. We got a lot of secrets in our basement.
It's a big basement.
It's a big basement.
So I guess just to wrap this all up, because there's been some very good information, some good intel for our listeners and viewers out there. What Why do you think there's this disconnect between Custodes sucking and you
Mhm.
saying they don't?
Well, before I answer that question, I have one more thing though.
Oh, my
This will
mistake. My
matter. This
mistake.
will matter at LVO.
Okay.
Forge rolled units have not been updated. They don't get stances. Period.
All
You
right.
cannot put them in a stance. Sagittarium also only have leadership 8, so that's important. If you're playing against a Custodians player with Forge rolled stuff, make sure you check.
So they don't know karate.
They do not. No karate for Sagittarium. No karates for Dreads. None of that.
Do you think is this in dispute at all, or is some people being like, nah, they do? But I mean, it's
No.
probably pretty cut and dry.
We have some people have, I don't know, maybe misinterpreted, because the why the stances, it is an ability keyword like Angels of Death on your data sheet,
Right.
and if you don't have the Martial Kata keyword, you don't get stances. So none of the Forge World stuff has been updated. Obviously, there's no FAQ yet, so none of them have it. And they won't. The Dreads, for instance, won't get it because none of the vehicles in the baseline codex have it. So
Right.
vehicles can't karate. Sorry about it.
So what you're
so
saying
about
is the most popular version of this? Well, not the most popular, but the Art of War list uses stuff that just doesn't even take advantage of the new things from the.
Yeah, actually,
book.
most of their list doesn't. They right now
Wow.
they're bringing 2 squads of Sagittarium, which don't have stances, a Kalidas tank, and then 2 dreads. I think it's 2 dreads.
Sounds arrogant.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
don't. But onto your question though about the
What do they know?
disconnect. Onto the disconnect though. Your question.
Yeah.
Is, I'll be honest. Custody players, the average Custody player is like a Tau player. Most of them are really bad.
Oh boy.
Like Custodes like incentivizes casual play. It's a very casual friendly army and fun.
Yeah.
Shots fired.
People want to be spamming things like Alaris and stuff, and Alaris are bad. They're really bad.
Gotcha. I have
but-
seen those models a lot.
The problem is that Custodes didn't get much of a datasheet change. So on the surface, if you don't read that much into the codex and know all the dumb crap you can do in this book, it's like you're just looking at your Alaris who costs more than a Death Shroud Terminator and has half the attacks
Right.
and a worse weapon and stuff. You're just like, It's so the codex isn't good because it's baseline effects, except bike specs are ridiculous. It's about all the stacking buffs you can do and all the insane stuff. Like for instance, we have probably the most influential. I don't know how to say your sub factions are some of the best sub factions ever designed in a book.
This reminds me a lot of the sort of the second go round of the Grey Knights. So like there wasn't a ton of change to them, but like they got a lot more sauce.
Yes, it's very similar actually. So
go ahead.
I was going to talk about my list compared to the Art of War list. Is I have a lot more bikes. Our lists are similar. They have bikes and Kalidas's. I mean, they have Dreads and the Kalidas tank. I have bikes. I rate the bikes very highly. Like I'm bringing 12, a squad of 5, 2 3s, and a captain.
All right.
The bikes.
Bikes.
Yeah, they are silly. They have 5 wounds now, which is a very weird target bracket. Like they can survive Dark Lances if you roll 1, 2 damage. You need 3 attacks. Just a lot of common weapons aren't efficient into them, and also T6. A lot of common strength 5 stuff like Cronus's and stuff don't wound them as well.
Sorry, don't mean to interrupt. Servo Dickie, why don't you think this is a good thing? You seem to scoff at the bikes.
No, there's bikes. It's a comedy routine. I don't,
Yeah.
You can say it.
Okay.
You say it. You say it, Serval.
Bikes.
There you go. See, everyone's in on it now.
All right. Over to you, Steve.
Yeah, there's. So we have stratagems like transhuman, turn off rerolls, stuff like that that we used to have. Now they used to always just cost 2 CP. Now they have a unit scale. Like if you have 4 or less models that cost 1, for instance. I do have a 5-man bike squad, which means all my stratagems cost 2, which sounds bad. But a 5-man bike squad is super good for things like putting a unit into any stance or putting a unit into any subfaction. Like one of the subfactions is Emissaries Imperialis, which is you always fight first and you ignore all hit and wound modifiers. So it's
All right.
like against Be'lakor, for instance, which is -1 to hit, -1 to wound, it just like will delete them off the board. Because bikes have now they have Serval launchers, which are essentially they're just 24-inch dark lenses. Strength 8, -4, D3 +3. And with since you're a Custode, you hit on 2s, you have rerolls to hit and wound. You essentially and Emperor's Chosen also gives you a reroll hit or wound, so you're always gonna just get a free like reroll one of your 2s on your wound.
Very
You're
nice.
gonna be usually wounding like 90% of your shots. It's just and then their melee is amazing. Strength 7 +1 to wound on a charge, up to strength 8 if you're Rendak, so they're wounding pretty much everything in the game on 2s or 3s at worst against T8. Even against damage 1, they will just do like 10 wounds, 10 to 12 wounds with their 20 attacks. Or it's, 25 attacks if you're in the stance that gives you +1 attack, -1 damage.
Sounds like they're
It's just
good at killing beefy stuff.
even into hordes, like especially after chapter proved when the Hormy gets knives for free, like with +1 attack stance, they'll have 6 attacks base with knives.
Dang.
Yeah. It's the problem. I'm not saying Ardour's wrong. I'm not gonna say that.
I mean, you
Well,
fired a
we'll
lot
see.
of shots.
Yeah.
I mean,
I
why
mean,
not
you
just
might
go
as well say
Well,
it.
Our
Well-
war is wrong.
I guess we have just different opinions. We'll see after LVO. I don't know, but I don't rate 5-up invuls. At all.
Again, as
Because-
I've noted, you probably have never played Orcs. 5-up invuln sounds pretty OP to me. In fact,
I played a lot of orcs
you
until they said you're not allowed to play speedball anymore.
No. I wonder why.
It was very fun. But fuck orcs. Screw that. They just got turbo nerfed this week too. Feels bad.
it was
Oh, man.
savage.
It was like 300 points on a meta list. Oh my god. Besides that, but what I don't like about 5-up invuls though is it makes, in my opinion, the army weak to things we're usually not weak against. AP3, anything above AP2 is a wasted AP against Custodes.
Right.
Things like Cronus's, Sisters. Trying to think what else is like AP3 in the army. Grey Knights potentially if you use a stratagem on your heavy side cannons. All Space Marines crap, all their plasma and stuff. A lot of melee. All these things are wasted, but it opens you up to being affected by it. Because obviously nothing in my army except Sisters, but who cares about them? Nothing in my army has less than a 4-up. And in a lot of ways, bikes are more durable than
Bikes.
Dreadnought. Yeah, bikes. Because a transhuman is just so impactful on a lot of things in the army. A lot of people would rather just shoot at a -1 damage dread of the 5-up invul than always be wounded 4 on a bike. Always be wounded on a 4 bike with a 4-up invul.
Yeah.
And also bikes are absolutely sanic. They go 14 inches. They can turn 1 charge on a lot of deployments, especially in the new chapter proved where we have more corner deployments. Corner deployments like sweep and clear, best mission for Custodes. It's so good. And there's also a faction people like, which I don't very much. It's just I don't like any of the sub factions Emperor's Chosen because you can always be a different sub faction. The stratagem is so nuts. Like Solar Watch is +1 to advance and charge and fall back and charge. Like that's cool army wide, but I can just you rarely need more than 1 or 2 units that can fall back and charge.
Right.
I can just spend a CP and make my 5-man fall back and charge.
It's like there's one of the original they were kind of like the armies of renown in the first book. It was the Gray Shields. They used to be able to do that. They used to be able to switch to whatever chapter tactic they wanted.
Yeah,
that was pretty hot. That was
that's
good.
exactly what it is now.
Yeah.
But these sub factions are way more impactful than any Space Marine one. Like I said, army wide, fight first, normal modifiers, fall back and charge, +1 to charge. Reroll all wounds versus characters, and the Shadowkeepers one is any phase. So I can make my 5-man squad Shadowkeepers. They reroll all wounds in the shooting and melee phase versus like Knights, for instance, because most of them are characters. Just delete them off the board. But yeah, you can
I think you're right. Custodes sound like hot garbage.
Yeah,
they're terrible, dude. Yeah, it's a thing. I think the average like casual person is kind of annoyed because a lot of the flavor stratagems are gone.
Yeah.
Things like Victor the Blood Games or Stooping Dives, which, like, to be honest, were just bad. They were bad stratagems, but they were flavor and people liked them. So people were like, man, it feels bad. So one thing I have to talk about though is the Alaris Captain.
Okay.
This is
So it's a
Probably
gotcha.
this is the most overpowered relic they've ever made, and FLG had to nerf it, even though it's
already.
They fact it where it works as a heroic intervention when it's
Okay.
not an heroic intervention. So yeah, FLG had to nerf it for LVO because it's so overpowered. So Praetorian's Plate, it gives you T6, which is funny, but it's once per game. In the enemy heroic intervention step, you may teleport him if an enemy to just be within 1 inch of an enemy and not wholly within 3 inches of your own unit. So they don't have to charge. It's just heroic intervention, pseudo heroic intervention.
Okay.
And but the thing is, since it's not wholly within 3 inches, since he has a 40 millimeter base, that means if an enemy is within 5.5 inches of any of your units, he can teleport into combat with them.
That was a
raw
seems pretty
right
good.
now. Rules is written. If they charge, it's like if anyone remembers Black Templar's old book with Devout Push. If they charge, you cannot fight like the Alaris, except at LVO you can because they fact it to be heroic. But he also has this is what makes it insane. He has an upgrade Unstoppable Destroyer, which gives him +1 inches to his pile and consolidate. So 4, and he can pile and consolidate any direction, even while base, as long as he just ends in combat with something. So this guy can. So for instance, a big play. He has the. This is not as important, but he has the Impregnable Mind War trait, which gives him a deny on a +1, and he counts as four models on an objective, and he's OPSEC because he's infantry. So he's really good at stealing stuff, or just turning on OPSEC for your bikes, because 4 plus a squad of bikes is like 14 models. It's like,
and he could just like surprise show up on an objective that you're not suspecting him to be.
That's really good.
And he's a beat stick. He's strength 7, 6 attacks, 2 damage.
He doesn't even need a back.
But the best thing he can do though is you can make him Shadow Keepers in the command phase. -1 attack, and you can put him in the -2 pile and stance. You can just do this, and then when your opponent goes, because unless they're just not being near your whole army, which means you're just winning anyways. Like if they're within 6 inches of anyone in your army, he can teleport in on wherever you want. He can pile in to them. He can jump in, pile in 4 inches behind them. They're now 1 inch pile in. They're now -1 attack, and since he is closer than most of the enemies in like the backfield, they have to pile in closer to him. He can fight and then pile in 4 inches away again, and then he's OPSEC, and then it destroys their whole like fight phase. Like if they have like characters or stuff within range, he can just pile in, leave combat, go into them, so it just destroys like their infantry's combat. They're just like absolutely
seems
Shrek.
Pretty terrible. Yeah.
I don't like this guy. He seems a bit over the top.
Yeah.
That's why FLG had to nerf him.
Can you give the audience some more gotchas or more really things you have to look out for?
Trajan, he has essentially 4 warlord traits. Because he has
4?
2 warlord traits. Yeah, only 4.
Can
he has 2 warlord.
I think the people want to know this. I'm pretty sure it's a soft J. Wouldn't it be a Trahan? Wouldn't it?
Trahan? I don't know about that.
You don't think so?
I don't know. Trajan sounds more Roman.
Well, you're wrong.
I guess you're right. They do say everything in Rome in the Latin. It's not bad.
Everything Custodes has weird words. So yeah, Trajan essentially has 4 warlord traits because he gets 2 warlord traits baseline for being a warlord, and they each have 2 sub warlord traits. He can heroic 6. He always rerolls hits for himself, including shooting and melee phase. And he has a 5-up CP refund. And once per game, he can change the order of your stances. And then he has his own once per game ability of either fight twice at the end of the combat phase, like an Archon, make a wound into 0 damage, so like he can just tank a Dark Lance, or interrupt. So the interrupt one is a gotcha, because he can interrupt. We have the Codex interrupt, and any Custodes unit can interrupt for 1 CP on an objective.
Wow. So that's 3 interrupts.
3 interrupts. And he's just, a lot of times he's just 12 attacks at strength 10, flat 3 damage, rerolling hits with a reroll to wound. And Custodes have stratagem, 1 CP if you're a higher toughness, +1 to wound. So if anyone's T6 or higher, he's just wounding them on 2s.
Trajan's like Kanye at the Grammys.
Just deletes you.
Trajan is a boss.
Trajan is a boss.
Trajan, sorry.
Other gotchas, Tanglefoot still exists. It's slightly nerfed. You have to have LOS. So at the beginning, this is actually a thing about Tanglefoot that your Custodes player might fuck up, is it's at the beginning of the movement or the charge phase. You cannot use Tanglefoot as a response. You just have to preemptively think about it.
Mm.
But Tanglefoot can also, so Tanglefoot, you pick something beginning of movement or charge phase, you roll dice and they get subtracted that from the charges or movement from down to 0. So if a character or any unit is within, like, say, fighting something, they're trying to fall back, you can Tanglefoot them. If they don't get farther than 3.5 inches away from when your Custodes unit, they can just heroic into you no matter what. Because any Custodes unit can heroic for 1 CP, and if you're a character, you can heroic 6 inches. So Custodes can just keep jumping back into combat. It's really hard to leave. You have to be like a fast unit that hopefully the Custodes player doesn't roll like a 6 on the Tanglefoot.
That's scary.
There's one stratagem. If you fall back from an infantry model, they can shoot you. It's really good on Sagittarium because they have heavy bolters with a combi 3 damage profile. So if you fall back from Sagittarium, they can just shoot you with 9 heavy bolter shots and 3 damage shots. That's pretty good. Charging bikes is good because they only get their +1 to wound if they charge or heroic, so you can at least stop a bunch of their killing power.
Yep.
There's one really good secondary for Custodes. It's kind of nuts against a lot of armies. It's you pick the highest, the either a Supreme Commander or a Primarch if they have one. If they don't have one, you pick the highest pointed unit. Yeah. I'm pretty sure I'm not even saying, never mind. I don't know if this is right, so I'm not gonna say that. So you get 5. The way they're written is kind of ambiguous when you pick the unit. It's either before reserves or right after reserves. But I don't know for sure. I have to check that. So you get 5 points for killing it. You get 5 more points for killing it in melee, and you get 5 more points for killing it in melee outside your DZ. It's really easy for a squad of bikes to just kill something in melee. Like in a lot of deployments, you can max this on turn 1 or turn 2.
And you're doing this once they've committed them somewhere. So like where that unit is, you can just be like,
especially because we have the relic, the Castlan's Mark, which is after you know who goes first, just redeploy 2 units or put them in reserves if you want.
Very nice.
So you have your 5-man bike, they try and I don't know, put their monolith, whatever the hell they have, in the corner, and then you just redeploy it to its directly in front of it.
Well, Steve, that was a veritable fountain of information and intrigue, and I'm glad to hear Custodes are terrible. I was worried about it.
Awful.
I would say, Detective Steve Trimble, what would you say? Who would be your competition in this best in faction race that you find yourself? So who are you calling out? Who's got your number right now? Who's up there with you?
Second place guy's name is Ryan Schneider.
Yep.
He made his list. I think he lives in the Midwest somewhere. I think north, maybe just a little bit north of you guys. Somewhere around that. I don't know. But his list is goofy because I think he designed his list after figuring out bikes. Okay. He has no OPSEC and he starts with 3 CP.
All right. So Ryan Snyder. Who else?
I don't know. I don't know any other Custodes player.
Okay, cool.
Sorry.
So is it possible?
Fine. It's lonely at the top. Sometimes you forget to look behind you. So I hope that you never have to, and that you'll be crowned. Did you bring some gold spray paint in case you win, so you can look good?
Personally, my army's not painted gold. I hate gold Custodes.
I
think it looks like shit.
Okay. You know what, Steve? You strike me as a bit of a contrarian, and that's a good thing.
I like it.
Really appreciate it. Best of luck out there, man. Thanks for spending some time with us today.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, man.
Appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
All right, everybody. We're now joined by Dustin Henshaw, who has perhaps one of the most energetic and well-enunciated introductions in all of podcasting on the Stutter Scrub podcast. How the hell are you, Dusty?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on.
We don't get you enough on this network, but
I'm only on here once a week. It's not enough.
Okay, that's true. It's definitely not enough. Not enough content.
Not enough content. I need to be on here more. Come on.
I was going to say that it's almost like you're sneaking around. You're just.
I am sneaking. I'm kind of lying in wait.
Lying in wait.
You guys were talking about Custodes. I'm just lying in wait, waiting. It's okay. I was learning. I was learning and planning. Generations in the making.
I think the best question was how much does it cost to get started in a Custodes army? And the guy said $300, and I think Serval almost floated away. He was like, "Oh, maybe I need to buy a Custodes army." But then in the background we asked Dustin how much it costs to get into a GSC army, The answer was not $300,
It
by
was
the way.
not 300.
More than three. More than three.
I think I spent $700 at the last LVO. Was that when GSC, like the GSC Codex dropped, and that was just to get the new models that I didn't own yet.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, no, it is. It is. It is. It is. It's an expensive hobby, and it's even more expensive when you get your butt kicked by a bunch of sneaky alien hybrids.
Yeah,
because then it costs you some of your soul.
That's right.
Yeah.
And
Really
I'm
bad.
sure, like Essence, taking my genes and incorporating them and stuff.
We just steal your genes and wear them. That's all we do. It's just very we're misunderstood. Is all we are.
All Dustin wants to do is to wear you like a suit,
like a jean
Yeah.
suit.
like
a
a
jean
skin suit, if you. Anyway, look, Dustin, we brought you on here because Custodes. I mean, they seem pretty straightforward. They're shiny. They kick your butt. They
Yeah.
fly around on bikes.
They definitely do that.
Gene Stealers cults in the previous iteration, before it was nerfed to hilarity and irrelevance, were pretty confusing and had a lot of like moments. What's
Yeah.
going on with GSC now?
We have those moments back again for sure.
Cool.
We're going to be sneaking around. Now, to be fair, I was still playing them when they were after they were nerfed, and still had success with them. I enjoyed them, so I might have felt a lot better about some of these changes than other people did, just
Mhm.
because I was ready for these changes, having played certain style, and now this new codex is kind of made my
You're a
style even-
GSC hipster, if you will.
I am a GSC hipster, as it is, for sure. I still like my Tyranids. I love my Tyranids. When I play in singles, I'll usually bring them both together because it is just a marriage made in heaven.
Right.
So I always love that. But
A marriage generations in the
a
making.
marriage generations in the making, man. It's 400-year marriage.
Oh,
It's
God.
Very nice.
Jeez.
It's a true
It's-
bond.
Never go to bed hungry or angry.
Oh,
That's correct.
God. Yeah.
That's
You
the key
wake
to
up a
marriage.
Gene Stealer hybrid.
Wake up a Gene Stealer hybrid. Exactly. That's
All
I'll
right.
tell you.
Okay.
So
You're bringing it down.
we're bringing,
Just bringing this
we're
whole
dropping
thing
knowledge
down.
here. It's
Yeah.
all about just dropping knowledge. You want to know about Gene Stealer cult? I'm giving you a bit of little lore about it too. But
Let's,
they're good.
why don't we slide into the back of that limo and
All right.
learn a few things about Gene Stealer cult?
Sure. Let's
How
learn
long
a
do we
few
have?
things.
How long is this going to be?
Yeah. So I'm gonna try to give you quick and dirty because I don't think any of us have the time to go over everything in this book in depth.
I believe my exact words were slide into the back of the limo and learn a few things
Okay.
about Gene Stealer cult.
Okay. We're
Say
gonna
all
learn-
of them.
We're gonna learn a few things. I'll try
Few
to keep it
things.
the more important things.
How
One of the
about
most
let's get
important-
out let's get out of the deployment phase without immediately losing. I mean, that's always a goal of mine.
Okay. We can try to do that. So don't deploy on the line if you can avoid that.
Okie dokie.
So a couple of first turn tricks we actually have. We actually do have the ability to come in from reserve first turn with a single unit now. But it is coming in from reserve, like not deep striking. It's coming in from
Oh,
reserve.
okay.
It's one of our abilities. If we can give a single unit, they can start on the board, and we can choose to. Well, sorry, that's another ability, but we can have something in reserve at no extra CP, and they can come in turn one if we want to. They can come in as if it's a turn earlier, and it specifically says that includes turn one. They can come in on turn one.
True or false? There is an ability in which you have 3 cups. Underneath one of the cups is a Gene Stealer, and you just move the cups around, and your opponent has to guess which cup has the Gene Stealer. If
Oh
they
my
don't guess
God.
right, they lose the game. That's real, right?
I think my brain's going to
That's true.
explode.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
It's called the trap sprung. And you have to yell out, "You have activated my trap," whenever they choose wrong.
Trapped
right.
card. Yeah.
Got it. Cool.
Yeah.
I thought so. I heard that. I heard that on the
I
tweets.
I
That was-
already know why YouTubers have given up reviewing the Gene Stealer cult codex. Okay, great.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
But there is actually the trap sprung is actually a good one too. It's another ability to give a unit, and it's pretty much our new. I'm gonna say in air quotes guaranteed charge. It gives us a 3d6 charge when we come in from ambush and take away the lowest.
Okay.
And something to keep in mind with GSC now is that whenever they come in from ambush, they could come in 8 inches and still charge. Everybody can come in within 8 inches and still charge, or they can come in with 6 inches just outside 6 inches.
Jesus.
Just not be able to charge. They can shoot
Oh.
you though, and we do
Okay.
have some good shooting.
Check some of
But-
those demo charges or something.
Demo charges are only 6-inch range, so it doesn't work with them, unfortunately.
Ooh,
Would-
I'm getting a
Didn't
call
you just
from
say
the
you could be
producer.
there at 6?
I'm getting a call from the producer. Apparently, an 8-inch charge is easier than a 9-inch charge.
Really?
Is that?
Whoa.
Did you confirm that?
Can we? Yeah, I mean, I think we can confirm that,
Oh,
can
okay.
we?
Did you just get that on the
is 8 a
news?
smaller
Sphere?
number
Yeah,
than 9?
it just came in on my
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
earphone. Yeah,
Oh, no way.
yeah.
I don't. I have too many arms. I can't count that.
Damn.
number.
Sorry. You have to take your mittens off in order to
Take my
count
mittens
that.
off, yeah. But it is absolutely true that is an easier charge. Now, keep in mind though, that is from ambush, and something that people need to remember is that if a Gene Stealer is coming in from ambush, the first time they come in from deep strike, it is an ambush. If they ever go back in the deep strike, like from their stratagem they can use, I'll tell you about in a second.
Right.
They are not coming in from ambush anymore. They're coming in from deep strike, so it's back to a 9-inch charge. You're 9 inches away.
Yeah, a leisurely 9 inches.
Is a leisurely
Yeah.
9 inches.
Strolling.
So
Yeah.
So a lot of the abilities that the G's they're called have are based on coming in from ambush specifically. So there are some interactions that won't work with that if you're like bouncing them back and putting them back on the board.
Would this be a concern, like with, is this an obvious thing in the GSC book, or might this be something that a GSC player does not pick up the nuance of and accidentally is, rolling those 8-inch charges?
I can absolutely say that that's a nuance that a lot of G Circle players may have missed because it's not obvious
Right.
unless you really read the entire book like carefully and kind of try to figure out these nuances. In fact, I know a lot of like top level players that when they first read it, they didn't realize it either.
Yeah.
But they know it now after play testing a little. I was like, oh, that's not how it works.
So some 6-armed freakish person rolls up and is like, my charge is 8 inches. I got to say, you sure about that, homie?
Yeah, you sure about that, homie?
It's your first charge.
And then they'll say, yes, I'm sure. And I'll say, cool.
sounds good. Are you on a bike?
Bike.
Can't wait to hear about the bikes.
Yeah, let's hear the bikes. We're gonna talk about the bikes because I love bikes.
Let's talk about
I have
bikes.
I have 45 bikes, but I can only bring 30 now.
Oh,
That's a sad thing. They dropped the unit size on the.
They did that to me with Storm Boys.
Yeah.
I have like 25 redundant Storm Boys now.
I have
Why?
15 redundant bikes. 15
Jeez.
redundant. They're just there now. Everybody's like, "Oh, I'll take them." No, you can't have my bikes.
Not
They're
touching them.
You are. They're not leaving. They're mine. You hear me, Paul? You can't have them. They're mine.
yeah, Paul.
Yeah, Paul Murphy.
Jeez. Oh,
P. Murph.
Yeah, it's Paul
as,
Murphy.
As they call him in the biz.
That's right. But they got a lot better too. They are actually phenomenal now. So they
Right.
have a pregame move, but only if they do not start the game in a blip.
That's right. Of course. Obviously.
Obviously.
oh.
Like, come on. You should know that.
How many? I got a question. How many judges are going to be just standing around Gene Stealer cult tables during LVO? Because I think they need more.
I actually was thinking of offering my services as being a Gene Stealer cult judge because I feel like it's actually necessary at this point. Because
Yeah.
We would
they're
need to
so
clone
new
you a
and
lot
there's
of
gonna be
times.
so many. They're
Yeah.
gonna be calling me too much though. I mean, I got other things I got to do to help out. So I
Yeah,
can't.
man.
I can't be just sitting there doing that. Although I think it was pretty funny. But
All right. So as long as they didn't start on a blip and you weren't born on a Tuesday.
And your
when
name
you
is
weren't
Bob.
born on a Tuesday, your name is Bob, and you have 2 wheels, not 3 and not 1.
Got it.
Okay.
Then they can actually do a pregame move of 9 inches and still be able to move their 14 inches afterwards to do their move blocking or tuck a demo charge, give a nice exposed to something that's near them if you want to spin a stratagem. The crossfire mechanic is actually pretty cool and
Yep.
something to remember. So crossfire right now, first of all, you can only get crossfire if you're a single cult and you cannot be mixed. So if you're with Tyranids, you don't get crossfire. It's
Got
not a
it.
thing. And if you are 2 different cults, then you do not get crossfire.
You
get everything
don't
else.
know. Are you shooting at one of your pals? Is it an
Yeah,
enemy?
you
You don't
don't
know.
You have no idea. You can't coordinate with that.
That's like
Because
a
that-
plan like 10 minutes in the making. You can't crossfire
Well,
with
that's
that little
10
bit.
minutes. It doesn't work that way. Is that
Nope.
Jeff from Shaft B or is that Bob from Shaft 5? We don't know.
Got it,
we
man.
can't
Not
tell.
Bob. Bob doesn't
It's
know
not. It's
anything.
not Bob, man.
No.
We're not going to help Jeff. We'll help Bob, but that's not the goal. So, Crossfire, basically, if anything gets hit in range with 5 range attacks of 1 damage, you get a crossfire token. And everything else that is shooting it now gets +1 to hit.
Okay,
And it
cool.
also means that if you are shooting at something and another one of your models is on the other side of them, and you can draw a line while still be able to see, like if you can draw a line from
Jesus.
one side to the other between that
there-
unit,
Is there
They
a
are-
point at this in which I could use a crossfire token to get a cool prize?
yes, actually there is. There are 2 cool prizes you get with crossfire tokens.
How much
after-
math do you need to know in order to play Gene Stealer
No.
cults?
I think he's
math.
doing a great job of explaining
I
this.
know,
I
he
just
is.
like that joke a
I'm
lot,
just-
and I'm crying.
More like physics, you need a physics degree to play that.
Ugh,
That's
Now,
all right.
jeez.
you just draw that line between 2 of them, and they
Yep.
count as exposed for that shot, which means
Okay.
they are +1 to wound.
Ooh, that's a
Okay.
good rule. Yeah.
So you actually do quite a bit of damage. And there's other ways you get +1 to wound, like the bikes. If they're within 6 inches, they
Nice.
automatically count as having exposed on them. And they can, for 2 CP, they can make everything else you want to shoot at them also count as exposed. So just give them +1 to wound across the board. It's really nice. And the other really nice thing that you'll see a lot of people make use of for crossfire tokens is that if you make any hits, doesn't have to wound, doesn't have to damage or anything, make any hits with a damage 2 or higher weapon, it's an automatic crossfire token. So all these Goliaths with 4 autocannon shots, they just hit with 1 and they have a crossfire token now.
All right.
So it's pretty nice that way.
Yeah.
Now, the prizes you win with crossfire tokens,
Yeah.
2 great prizes that if you want to charge something in the charge phase, if you pay 1 CP, you can win a prize of no Overwatch.
That's not bad.
That's a good
'cause,
prize.
people still do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, people still definitely do that. And in the fight phase, if you pay 1 CP and you have a crossfire token on a unit, you win. They have to fight last. They can't be
Ooh.
Okay.
can't be chosen.
I've
Can't
heard
choose the
fight
fight.
last is a really good rule.
I heard fight last is extremely important, especially when you don't wear armor.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When you just have
Yeah.
arms.
We just have arms.
Yeah.
Just armed.
We heard armor and just thought, oh, arms. We'll bring those.
Whatever, man. We'll just hit him first.
We'll hit them first. Hit them hard.
That's a
That's
good
great.
way to deal with it.
That's all we get. That's all we gotta do, right?
Cool. All right. So crossfire tokens let you do fun things later on. I think
Yeah.
that's a pretty good takeaway.
The crossfire is always it's something to remember just in case. The +1 to hit's nice, but remember that they can also give you fight last and no Overwatch. So
I'm not gonna lie to you. It sounds like whether or not you've actually got anyone in crossfire is kind of redundant because there seems to be a lot of other ways to get the exposed thing going on.
yes, there are definitely a lot of other ways to get the exposed thing going on, which is kind of the reason that a lot of people aren't worried about getting on the other side of units they're trying to shoot. That's kind of a bonus of getting exposed without having to do anything else.
Right.
So that's not it's not too much of a worry. And there are 3, I think, units that just get exposed when they shoot at something, and 2 that grant it to other units. Like the Alphys, actually, instead of getting +1 to hit now, is now her aura is a +1 to wound. It counts as exposed. So
Hey guys, I got
Okay.
a problem. I got a problem.
Turn into a fish.
Yeah, my head got too full and I turned into a fish.
Yeah.
So that's too much information. Do we need to pop you? Here, I got a back scratcher. I can just kind of.
No, it's not so much me. It's you got to tell people what the hot takes. Like, what do you have to know in order to play against Gene Stealer Cult? Like, without
Hot take.
turning me into more of a fish.
What the heck? It's not even a fish. I don't even know what that is.
I'm kinda, look, I'm a fish. See?
Now you're floating.
Yeah,
A floating
well,
fish?
Yeah, I can kind of fly.
All right. Serval Dickie's current form notwithstanding,
Mhm.
I think what he was trying to do is bring this all home, baby.
Mhm.
What are we thinking about with GSC? Do you think maybe your best defense against a GSC opponent is their very own codex?
I mean, yeah, their codex is definitely a good way to help against it. Just remember that GSC hit very hard on combat, and you need to screen. Just make sure you screen differently than you would against other armies because of the 8 inches and 6 inches, and 1 unit that can come in just outside of 3 inches. So it's all about screening and not letting them get the first hit on you.
Okay.
All right.
That sounds pretty good. That was good. That was succinct.
Yeah, that was
I,
easy.
I could be succinct too.
Look. Oh,
Cool.
oh,
There
you
you
see?
go. See?
Oh,
I'm
there
back.
he is.
oh.
So as we did with Detective Steve Trimble, who do you think's in the lead here for the faction? Do you know? Do you have any idea what the faction's shaping up?
Who's number 1?
For LVO or just in general?
Well, just I mean, like who's in the running to win it? The GSC faction.
Oh, for the GSC faction.
Yeah.
Well, there are 3 people that I definitely have my eye on for it, and obviously Alex McDougall's one of them. He's bringing
Dude.
the Forces of the Hive Mind list that I would be very similar to what I'd be running for a singles list. Him and I think Tyler Borteller both doing the same thing too. So
Okay.
those are 2 guys that I've got my eye on. Not pure GSC, but it's the list for singles that is definitely making the best use of them.
And they're going to LVO.
And they are going to LVO.
Ooh,
Go baby.
Gonna be there. Those some big brains at the LVO.
Big brains.
The,
I got my eye
the
on them.
mind in Forces of the Hive Mind, I think, represented heavily there.
Yes, for sure.
Well, all right. Well, I think we've learned a lot, and I really appreciate it.
I'm happy to talk about GSC anytime you want and blow up.
No, I
Blow up your
can't.
heads.
I can't do it again. Maybe talk to
Yeah.
Val.
Rich is too sensitive. He can't do it.
He's too sensitive.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I'm sure you'll have many opportunities. You have your own whole show.
I do.
Yeah,
And I
what
talk
show you
about
on?
it a lot. I'm on the Stutter Scrub, and I'm also on the Thursday show.
Stutter
Come on
Scrub,
up.
though, that's a good show.
That's
great
a good
show.
It's a great show. Really good show. All right. Thanks a lot, Dustin. We're going to seamlessly segue now because this is being produced live
Absolutely.
by Richard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's absolutely no stop in filming coming up.
Yeah, we're too busy to read
all
chat.
filming.
That's why we're not even looking at it. Sorry.
Yeah. Sorry, I actually saw all your questions, and I will get to them in a minute.
Yeah.
Yep.
Maybe later this week.
Yeah, right. Yeah. He's going to reply by email,
I will email each person individually.
handwritten letter.
Yeah. Handwritten. Oh boy.